With Black Friday just over a week away and the cold winter months fast approaching, it is the time of year when many Canadians head south for maybe a little shopping and some R&R. But many might be thinking twice this year with the Canadian dollar hovering around 75 cents US. Joining us now with more on the impact of the low loonie is business journalist Bryan Borzykowski. It's so good to have you here, Bryan, on this.
Thanks for having me.
And this is what people are thinking about. It's top of mind, but first let's look at why. I mean, it's at about 75 cents right now.
Right, and so it's actually really, it comes down to the economy and oil. And when you look at sort of where the dollar goes kind of in history, it really follows oil prices. So right now, oil prices are low. You know, they drop below $40 on Friday, and you see the dollar falling with that. And it's kind of unfortunate because it's really sort of global issues that are affecting, you know, the consumer in Canada. But that's really what it is. Our economy is not doing that well. The American economy is doing really well. So investors buy US dollars, they sell their Canadian dollars, and that pushes the US dollar up, which pushes the Canadian dollar down. So it really comes down to kind of economic issues.
So economic issues for sure, but those looking to travel south for, you know, a bit of a respite or whatever, you know, are facing higher prices from everything for, you know, lodging, for example. Tell us more about that and what some alternatives might be.
Right. I mean, it's unfortunate because of, you know, these issues are affecting the consumer. So, you know, for every $100 in Canadian dollars you want to go to the bank and you want to exchange it, you're going to get $75 American in return. And that hurts because the hotel prices are still $100. Here, there, you know, $150. So you end up paying more for that hotel room, and it makes your vacation more expensive. Now there's some things in the States that are cheaper. There's less tax. You know, gas is cheaper if you're driving, so you can save money maybe in other ways. But when you kind of look at it, your hotel, your flights, if you're going, you know, on a U.S.,
it adds up.
It adds up, and it gets more expensive.
Now, what about Black Friday? That's just around the corner, and I would think those in your industry are going to be watching that with eagle eyes to see what happens because the deals that used to be there just aren't there anymore when you've got a low dollar.
It's true, and so if you're buying online to the States, you could end up paying more. So what I think you should do, and what I do sort of myself, is I look and see if you calculate the American price to the Canadian dollar. Go on, you know, an online currency conversion calculator and see if the price actually is worth it. Is it less than what you can buy here for a similar or the same thing? And if it is less, then go ahead. You can still buy it sort of through the States. If it's not, it might be better to go to the Canadian store. There are a lot of Canadian deals, though. Canada's really, you know, taken Black Friday as their own now. It's almost as big as Boxing Day, and so we're going to be watching to see if it actually is bigger than Boxing Day this year. So there are a lot of deals and discounts that you can get in Canadian dollars that actually might be better than, you know, shopping in the States.
So it's really prudent to do your homework on every level when it comes to Black Friday stuff and when it comes to travel, because there's still places that one can go where there are deals.
Right. So yeah, you don't have to go to the States. I mean, a lot of the other countries that have oil, like Australia, you know, that has been affected too. So you can go, you know, it's far away, but the Australian dollar is, you actually get more for your dollar, the Canadian dollar now in Australia. In Mexico, which isn't that far, it hasn't really changed that much over the last few years. So you're still getting a good value. Japan, if you want to go take a trip out to Japan, then maybe go to Australia. The dollar's actually been hurt there a lot. So compared to the Canadian dollar, it's almost the same. It hasn't changed much over the last few years. And even the Eurozone, which has gone through a lot of problems, it's actually, you know, if you compare it to 3 years ago, you're getting less for your dollar, but earlier in the year, you got even less. So it's the Euro is actually improving against the Canadian dollar, so you're going to get more there now than you did, you know, about a year ago.
Bryan, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.